we're going to move on to the draft.
Yep.
We got a good one today. I think Tommy is the one that recommended it. But we have the biggest villains in the history of sports. What does this mean? Just an athlete that, whether it's a team they played for, team they played against a lot, team they dominated, team they just had beef with, players that were just straight up hated. So I think this is going to be pretty interesting. I feel like there's going to be a lot of different perspectives. And I'm really curious to see how this plays out. So, Tommy, you won the shake pre-recording, so you will be picking first.
Yeah, I'll start with an obvious one. I'll go Tom Brady.
Yep.
Yep. Go. I mean, I don't think I've met maybe a handful of people who actually respect him and like him from the Midwest. I might be the only one. Like I've always loved him. And anytime I bring that up, people give me a look. It's like you're disgusting. It's like fuck Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady, and I've never. I guess I do understand it, but it's like, come on, you have to respect greatness.
Did you like the roast?
Oh, that was insane.
It was really good.
Comedy is back.
Comedy's back. That's a good pick. I think that's pretty obvious. Round one, pick one. Kanan, you're on the clock.
You know, I'm a big basketball guy, and there's been a lot of villains in that day. You know, you got the Dennis Rodmans, you got the Isaiah Thomases, you got the Market, but I gotta go Draymond Green because that man, everybody wants to see him fail. He's the complete opposite of Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry's love and sunshine, the yin, rainbows and puppies. Then Draymond Green kicks him in the nuts and just enters absolute carnage. Steven Adams, victim. Nurkic, victim. Rudy Gobert got put in a sleeper hold live on national television. Victim. I mean, how many more times is this guy going to go to therapy and get stuff fixed? Oh, I went to therapy with Steve Kerr and then I cried.
He's not going to therapy.
No, you didn't, bro. I guarantee you, next season, he's going to do something and they're going to toss his ass into Arkham. Everybody who hates this guy, they label him as a dirty player, Mr. Triple Single. This guy, like, I've never met somebody that actually has Draymond Green as their favorite player. My dad was watching the Suns Warriors game when Nurkic got kicked in the balls, and you guys know Nurkic is Bosnian. My dad immediately stood up and started yelling at this man through a screen. He can't hear you, but that's how much hate that everybody has for this man. They see his face, they think of Donkey from Shrek, and they just hate. They hate, and with good reason too. But he's still a great basketball player. Don't get me wrong, but he's just a dick.
Fair enough. All right. I'm up next. I'm going to ask a question. Tommy, what's your favorite 30 for 30 that ESPN's put together?
You know, I liked the one about Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Kanan?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. That's another good one. My personal favorite would be I Hate This Man. The handsome devil for the Blue Devils. Christian Laettner.
That was gonna be my next pick.
Was there a more hated player at any point in time than Christian Laettner for Duke when they won back-to-back championships, kicking players on Kentucky when they're down, then hitting the shot, basically bullying his own starting point guard Bobby Hurley, still selling shirts saying "F you, Christian Laettner," basically. I mean, I think that's the clear-cut answer for me.
He made a nice little brand off of that, but
he did, and he seems like a good guy, honestly. Off the court.
Yeah, I definitely have a beer with him. But Grayson Allen hopes to be like him. Like,
I feel like that could be an answer at some point down the road. I'm not going to take him, but I do agree. Grayson Allen was kind of cut from the same cloth in a way. So I'm up again. We're doing 3 rounds, by the way. I think we've got a pretty good first round. You know, we say villains. We're not exactly talking about athletes. They can also be coaches. And I think this guy was a bigger villain to teams he used to be a part of than teams he went up against. I can't think of a man that has a worse reputation than Bobby Petrino.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's Arkansas, whether it's the Atlanta Falcons, basically every team that he has gone through has bad things to say about him, scandals, up and leaving, just being a bad coach, being a bad person in general. But I mean, Bobby Petrino's just completely tarnished any legacy he's had.
Jesus. You mentioned coaches. Can I throw an owner onto it?
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think both of you know, and this is coming from a deep, deep sense of hatred, but Stan Kroenke. This man is the devil reincarnated, died again, and formed somehow an even worse person. The most evilest billionaire I ever met.
You met a lot of billionaires.
I met two. Thank you very much.
Met Kroenke?
I actually did, and I wanted to spit in his face.
Interesting.
10-year-old Kanana I was like, oh, we're not leaving St. Louis. That was a lie.
You're
Look,
10 and your first thought is, hey, Stan Kroenke, I'm going to spit in his face.
I wanted to spit in his eye, but I was too short by then. But he basically said, oh, we don't care about the Rams. Oh, you're not giving us the facility. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Well, you could have sold the Rams to I think his name is Saad Khan of the Jaguars. He wanted to keep the Rams in St. Louis, and St. Louis is a football town. Thomas can vouch for that because every weekend he's probably at a Battlehawks game. But I don't understand why. Like, he saw money, and hey, from one person who chases a bag to another, good for you. But as a St. Louis fan, go yourself, Kroenke, you piece of shit.
I think the biggest Kroenke story is that he bought a ranch in Texas and forced a bunch of owners off their property, and one guy killed himself and listed Stan Kroenke in the suicide note.
Oh,
that's a big.
I've never heard about that.
That's the biggest Stan Kroenke story. I'll send you guys the link. Oh. Tommy, you're up.
I'm gonna go off the beaten path here. Gonna go with Tanya Harding.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if that debacle went down in the social media age?
That's like one of the moments I wish social media is around for the most. Can you imagine the memes about Tanya Harding getting Nancy Kerrigan whacked?
I mean, kneecapping a woman in front of the entire sports world. That, come on.
What's Harding was the better figure skater.
Yeah,
she still kneecapped the bitch.
Nancy Kerrigan hit her right in the knee. Yep.
I think she hired somebody, but doesn't matter.
It was her boyfriend.
And like it was like a baton or something like that.
Yeah.
What a wild time to be alive.
It's a good movie, by the way. Margot Robbie plays her role quite well.
Yeah.
And then, man, I got a lot of choices here. I'm gonna do another weird one. I'm gonna go with Jake Paul.
That is not a ridiculous pick.
Go with Jake Paul because, come on, like, very few people like him. He's so hateable, and he carved out a lane for himself. And honestly, he's knocked out some pretty prolific fighters. I mean, he knocked out Tyron Woodley, who's, I believe, a belt holder in the UFC. I mean, that's insane. You wouldn't ever expect that from a YouTube kid. So.
Disney those Paul brothers are athletes, though. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
I said a Disney Channel star.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with a man inside the combat sports world, a man who never really had offense. Well, that's a lie because he's undefeated, Mr. 50-0, Floyd Money Mayweather, but he would land a couple hits and then just run for the entire fight. I remember watching so many fights of his, and I wanted him to get knocked out because I hated the way he was boxing. Tommy, I'm pretty sure I don't know if you agree with that. That he's just like he talks so much shit, and then runs and then wins and then repeats, does it again and again and again. And that's why he's 50-0. But I remember I think it was the Canelo Alvarez fight. I had Canelo gonna win that, but he just ran from him. Like, if Canelo got, like, that was a young Canelo, I think, too. Yeah, it was a young Canelo as well. I think that was 2015, 15, I want to say. Some around there. But Canelo should have killed him. He really should have. We would have been over all this Floyd Money Mayweather stuff. Still boils me to this day that he beat Pacquiao, Ortiz. God, I hate that guy. But I respect him.
I was thinking about Mayweather. That's a really good pick. I mean, you got pundits talking bad about him. You had one guy interview him in the ring after he won a fight saying he would kick his ass if he were younger. That interview is awesome if you go back and watch that one. I'm in between two. So leave it up to you guys. Kenan, 1 or 2?
2.
2, I think that's a better pick. I'm going to take Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds obviously looked back on, honestly, pretty fondly. All-time home run leader. Had 4 of the most ridiculous seasons you've ever seen, but he was hated, man. I don't think there's ever been an athlete that had a worse reputation in the media. They despised each other. Not to mention the perjury case. Not to mention those 2 things probably being the reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame when he's a clear-cut, maybe the best baseball player of all time, roids or not. You can't teach hands with roids. He had some of the best, some of the best hands you've ever seen, but still, he lied in court, and he was terrible to the media members that do vote him into the Hall of Fame. The guy's a villain. Make no mistake about it. So I think that wraps it up. Tommy,
And what's crazy?
Go ahead.
What's crazy is even before the roids, this man had a Hall of Fame career.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was a go guaranteed 30-30 guy basically. Grew up in baseball. He had all the makings of a Hall of Famer. But to wrap it up, Tommy went with Tom Brady, Tanya Harding, and Jake Paul. I think this is maybe the most diverse draft we've ever had, by the way. Kenan went with Draymond Green, Stan Kroenke, and Floyd Mayweather. I went with Christian Laettner, Bobby Petrino, and Barry Bonds. I don't know who you guys think of when you think villains. You might have your own list. Feel free to leave a comment. Let us know who you guys think are your 3 biggest villains that maybe we didn't have. Some of my honorable mentions, I went with Kyrie Irving, Coach Mike Krzyzewski, Kyle Busch, and the other guy I was in between with Barry Bonds was Alex Rodriguez. I'm not sure what kind of honorable mentions you guys had.
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was huge for me. And then
I didn't have Bonds, unfortunately.
Marshall Henderson was also a runner-up.
Fuck, I forgot about him. Holy fuck.
We've got a lot of bleeps here.
We're really gonna overuse the bleep button. It might be a long edit tonight. So
but I had McGregor, I had John Calipari, and Angel Hernandez as well.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah, like he played victim. He was like, "Oh, the MLB doesn't want me officiating in the World Series because I'm Cuban."
No, it's just because you suck, dude.
You suck at your job, you prick.
Take a shot every time Kenan cusses. By the way,
I'm sorry.
We should make a tally like that South Park episode, but I'm not.
My AC's broken in my house and I'm sweating. I'm sorry, boys.